Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the December 6th meeting of the Milford Planning and Zoning. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Thank you. Just a note, 589 Bridgeport Avenue that was originally on the schedule has been withdrawn. And if you would, Meg, please call the roll.
Ms. Austin.
Present.
Mr. Castiglione.
Here.
Mr. Hirsch.
Here.
Mr. Cater.
Present.
Mr. Collegian.
Present.
Mr. Moore.
Present.
Mr. Mortimer.
Present.
Mr. Sadi.
Present.
Mr. Zaharidis.
Present.
And Chairman Quish.
I'm here as well. With no new business, we'll go to public hearings, closed by January 11th, 23, vote by March 17th, 2023. 470 Boston Post Road, Zone CDD1, petition of Gold Coast Realty LLC for a special permit to expand a service center building at map 064, block 950, parcel 9, of which Gold Coast Realty LLC is the owner. The applicant has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, commissioners, staff. My name is Raymond Pear. I'm the Vice President of Engineering of West Cotton Mapes, located at 142 Temple Street in New Haven, Connecticut. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, the civil site engineer of record for the project. If you'll allow me to put up a couple of colored foam boards. Appreciate the opportunity. It's nice to be here in person. It's been some time for me to present before you in such a manner, and I do appreciate the opportunity. I will make it brief, but I would like to just show you some boards. The colors, I think, help to aid and tell the story. Colonial Toyota Service Center expansion of 470 Boston Post Road. Gold Coast Realty LLC is the owner. Colonial Toyota is the proprietor, is the business at hand that operates on the site. I have before you, to my right, the overall site plan, OS1, that's in your package. It's also online in the Milford portal for the project. For orientation, just briefly, you could see north to the upper right of the sheet. The bottom of the plan is the Boston Post Road. On the right-hand edge is High Street. And then you see two beige buildings in my plan and also on the computer screen as Mr. Soklas has aided us. I appreciate that. The building farthest to your left is 470 Boston Post Road. That's the Colonial Toyota dealership building. And the building farthest to the right on the sheet, the other large, is the former Expector. It's currently the Colonial Power and Sport building. And you could see, to get right to the point, is in between the two existing buildings is a proposed a service center building expansion or building addition. And I'll go into detail momentarily. Overall, the property is about 2.4 acres. And currently, the reason for the project is there's only one overhead door entrance, bay entrance, into the service area for vehicle servicing. And it's a very tight turn, limited access. Logistically, it doesn't work well, and it poses safety concerns. Hence the project to improve safety and traffic patterns and overall functionability of the property in terms of a added service center. The proposed service center addition is a 3-bay access in the front. As mentioned, the existing one is only one, and it's a tight turning condition. The 3-bay situation allows for better distribution and queuing of on-site vehicles. And you can see it's a one-way directional entrance from the Post Road into the service center. Overall, we can anticipate 8 to 10 cars approximately on an exterior queue if need be, and maybe up to a dozen at max on the interior of the service center. The addition is truly just for queuing and processing the vehicles. It's not a garage maintenance facility. It's a vehicle drop-off, the paper processing, that sort of thing. The servicing will occur as it currently does in the rear of the building, so that's not a change. So it's not really a mechanical type of servicing. It's really just a queuing area for vehicles to get out of the elements. The building, as mentioned, is 59 feet wide by 100 feet long, 105 feet more exact, about 6,200 square feet in total square footage. The proposed building will match the existing in terms of architectural appearance, color scheme, the motif of Toyota. So it blends with what you see currently out there, the Toyota branding. It's had kind of a white-gray kind of metallic appearance, and that's what the 3 bays will match the current building. The project, as denoted on your OS1 and work with staff, is compliant with all of the bulk standards, the zoning bulk standards in terms of setbacks and coverage and those items, as well as the parking requirements for the addition. And those are reported on the tables on the OS1 sheet. The project will result in a reduction in hardscape. In other words, softer treatments and more pervious materials upon completion of the project. Approximately 1,600 square feet of reduction in hardscape and increase in site permeability. That could be observed with the green areas denoted on the plan and this particular island here. Another feature is the paver plaza here, pedestrian paver plaza, permeable pavers. That's a kind of a passive resting area for those who wish to wait for their vehicles to be serviced. They could get outside. We did work with staff and land use official to clarify the east facade of that new addition such that it won't pose any hazardous conditions with penetrations in accordance with safety concerns and the fire code. As far as landscaping, there was a clarification proposed on the landscape plans at the back of your package, L1 and L2. The clarification being there was an auto plaza being proposed, I'll just point it out here, an auto plaza being proposed in this area.
Excuse me, just be mindful of the mic so we can hear you better. Thanks.
I appreciate that, certainly. Basically back to an auto, thank you, David, on the screen as well. An auto plaza area has been eliminated from the proposed design, and that particular area is going to remain a softscape, greenscape with lawn. There will not be any vehicles parked in that area, and that's clearly denoted on the revised landscape plans. Another feature being proposed in concert with the other work that has been done on prior properties is the wooden timber guardrail with this double steel rail fencing, guide rail fencing. That's aesthetically pleasing, or so we believe, a feature that will prevent vehicles from encroaching upon the lawn area. Yes, you could see it on the screen or as I'm pointing here. So that will work well in harmony with the rails that have already been out there when the work was done on the former Expect property, and that same theme will carry right through the front of the property. It's not only safety, but it also it maintains the green space and prevents the vehicles from encroaching, as mentioned. We've worked with the city engineer and satisfied all the stormwater requirements and utility requirements. We are imposing easements onto the property for proper maintenance for Colonial Toyota and proper care of the pipes and utilities in this kind of shared pedestrian corridor area. We worked with the fire marshal to indicate proper safety access, rights and easements for the proper fire truck circulation around the property, because one could observe that the service center addition is in the center, so it does allow, though, fire truck emergency vehicles to circulate around the rear of the property, as I'm denoting here. And there is reciprocal easement to allow pass and repass. This is owned, both properties, by the same owner, but nonetheless, going with the land records, there will be the right to pass and repass by vehicles. Also received a letter from Mary Rose, Wetlands Enforcement Officer, and stating, and we concur, the observation that there is no work being proposed within 100 feet of any watercourse or wetlands. There's a patch of woods in the distance, but quite a distance, and there's nothing being proposed in that area, nor 100 feet above that area, nor any concerns or impacts to that particular area. The letters are in your file from all of the reviewing officials. Basically, that being said, we could look through other plans, but they're in your package. That's the project in a nutshell, and I do respectfully request your consideration for approval this evening, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Mr. Sadi.
Thank you very much for the good presentation. We're just trying to sort out the two properties, 470 and 480. Are they both owned by Crabtree?
It's actually, the proper name is Gold Coast Realty, LLC. It's a Colonial Toyota ownership.
Okay, but the point is that your ownership, the person you're representing owns both properties?
Yes.
I just was going to the issue of the traffic, the trucks, and you showed us how emergency vehicles can get out there, but I have a little bit of a concern over that. I don't know if that was addressed by the police, about having a truck coming out onto High Street, which is a very difficult way for them to get back to the highway.
It has been reviewed by, as I mentioned, Fire Marshal, and he concurs, and they do use that route. Police, I mean, I imagine their vehicles are less obtrusive than the Fire Marshal. That is really a secondary means for rear property access for that purpose.
Oh, for rear property access?
Rear property access
Okay.
only. The main, if I may clarify further, all of the entrances and egresses, the main functioning of the property occurs on the post road. There's multiple approved driveways that are on the post road that are used.
Thank you. And the last question I had for you is, there were two landscaping plans that were submitted as part of this application. I believe the administrative summary indicates that LS1 would give the appropriate islands and plantings. Is that correct?
Yes. The plans dated, I believe, bear with me, make sure we get this correct. L-1 and L-2 with a revision date of 11/30,
Okay.
2022. In your package, those were recently submitted, represent the proper landscaping, islands, and so forth, and the elimination of what was formerly being proposed on Auto Island.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, David, if you'd give an overview.
The applicant is proposing to construct a 6,185 square foot addition to the existing 28,865 square foot main dealership building. The addition is for an expanded service center. 153 customer/employee parking spaces are provided, where 152 are required. The applicant's site plan also provides for reciprocal access agreements between the Colonial Toyota property that they own at 480 Boston Post Road, the former Expect Discount Building, and 470 Boston Post Road. The agreement provides for a path for truck traffic to enter the property on the Boston Post Road side and exit on High Street, if they choose. The proposed addition is located almost to the side lot line, so an easement located at 480 Boston Post Road is provided for building maintenance purposes and provides a courtyard amenity for the dealership. New shrubbery and guardrail system is proposed along the front of the property. Sheets L1 and L2 in the plan set have been revised, revision date 11/30/22, to remove the auto island area that was shown underneath and around the pre-existing on-site billboard. The plant list on sheet L1 also applies to L2 for the patio area. The overall site plan sheet, OS1, makes it appear that 2 landscape islands within the parking lot have been removed, and island landscaping is missing. Sheet LS1 clearly shows all of the landscape islands remaining. This should be reflected on sheet OS1. Although the plant list is compliant with 5.14.3, the plan notes the availability of plants at the time of planting may be different than what is specified. The applicant would need to submit any changes to the approved landscape plan for approval. The proposed use is substantially zoning compliant.
Thank you for that. If there's no other further questions from the board, this is a public hearing, and we'd open it up to comments from the public. If anyone would like to speak, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the board, and keep your comments to about 3 minutes. Seeing none, is there any board member that feel we should keep this open? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Are there any further questions from the board? Then I would hear a motion. Mr. Sadi?
Thank you. In reference to 470 Boston Post Road, I move to approve with the following modifications: that the petition of Gold Coast Realty LLC for a special permit with site plan review to expand a service center building at map 064, block 950, parcel 9, of which Gold Coast Realty is the owner. The modification would be that the overall site plan would include the 2 landscape islands within a parking lot that are shown on sheet LS1, landscape 1, dated 11/30/2022.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Meg, if you would please call the roll.
Ms. Austin?
With the motion.
Mr. Castagnoli? Mr. Hirsch?
With the motion.
Mr. Cater?
With the motion.
Mr. Collegian?
With the motion.
Mr. Moore?
With the motion.
Mr. Mortimer?
With the motion.
Mr. Sadi?
With the motion.
Mr. Zaharidis?
With the motion.
And Chairman Quish.
I'm also with the motion. Motion passes. Good luck with your project.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Liaison report.
None.
None tonight. Subcommittee reports. We met with the POCD committee last week. Those minutes are, and the recording is available online. The Regulations Subcommittee will meet next Wednesday. Is that correct, David?
It will now.
With any luck. Next order of business is approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve.
Do we have a second? Mr. Cater, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Chair's report, I have none, except to say if there is not another meeting this month, that I would like to thank the board members for a year of good work, as well as David and Meg for all their work this year for the Milford P&Z. Staff report?
None this evening.
None this evening.
Mr. Chairman, did we set a couple of meetings for the POCD subcommittee?
We did. Do you,
The 28th.
The 28th?
Yeah, Wednesday, the 28th.
Okay,
yep, thank you.
thank you.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you all.